Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. We are back and we have the second primary of the said year. And we have what I would say probably the biggest primary because this primary was extremely consequential. We are going to review the results of the New Jersey primary involving the Democrats and the Republicans in what could be a potential flip for the Republicans right now. It's pretty uncertain, as Democrats could very well win the said governor's mansion. But we do know that New Jersey is trending dramatically to the right, more than New York, more than California, more than all these blue states. And that has to do with just the way it's being run for 8 years. We saw the state almost being picked up by Republicans, which was a huge surprise for the said Democrats, as Bill Murphy looked like he was going to win it by a solid margin. He ended up winning it by like 4 points, which was an embarrassment for him. And now he's more unpopular. The people are very upset with the sanctuary state policies, along with the crime, the taxes, and how New York affects the lives of New Jerseyans. So obviously, people are not happy, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the said results. We have the results coming in. Mikie Sherill is the projected winner in the said primary, and she will go off to defeat Jack Shirelli, who was the previous nominee in 2021. He's going to go off and hopefully deliver the same results, same numbers he did in 2021. I would think with everything that happened in the last 4 years, it would go that way, but we're going to have to see. But looking here, we're going to go ahead and talk about the New Jersey Democratic Party results, because obviously it's the most most consequential. I say this is consequential because, and I encourage Republicans to really study the primaries, because obviously you get the right candidate in there, you're going to give Republicans leverage. I would rather see Ross Baraka bear the Democratic nomination, because you know how much of a goonball he is, and to see that he came up in second place does show you how off course the Democratic Party is. But Mikie Sherill does have the advantage over the mayor of Newark. Let's be honest, she's a congresswoman. Okay, she is a congresswoman, and she is coming from the district. She obviously has leverage in order to win the primary. And we're going to go over those said results. I find these results to be very interesting, mainly because I kind of predicted the way it was going. I did predict Steve Sweeney to perform very well in the South. Comes from southern New Jersey, after all. But I was surprised he didn't sweep the South, as the endorsements indicated he would. But we're going to go ahead and start with Mikie Sherill. Now, Mikie Sherill is the winner of the primary, and I would say I'm surprised that Josh Gothamir wasn't much of a competitive force, because Gothamir is actually a congressman, and you would think, being a congressman, you would resonate with more men, masculine leaders. And to be honest, Josh Gothamir is a low testosterone man. He's not going to resonate with no one. But Mikie Sherill does resonate with the working class in northern New Jersey. You'll see she does very well in Morris County. That's the county she comes from. She resonates, and I do want to believe maybe she's a town over in Essex County, but regardless, it's smack right on the border of Morris, so much that people there resonate with her. Looking at the said results, you can clearly see Cheryl's best performing county would be Morris County, right up here. It's a county we should be concerned about because it's a swing county. It's a county that Trump won. It's a county that Shirelli won. Trump didn't win the county by much compared to Shirelli, which I would say indicates a concern because, first off, it's a big populated county. It's a county that flipped to Joe Biden in 2020. Trump flipped it back in 2024, but not by much. It voted for him like 3 points. It is a county that's, you kind of need to run up the numbers up there a lot in order to feel comfortable winning New Jersey. And I mean, you have Mikie Sherill coming from Morris or somewhere near Morris. It's somewhat of a concern. So I would say, future note for the Sherill campaign. Yes, he's got to put money in a lot of these counties, but it's especially in Morris County because Morris is a compatible battleground county. And now, obviously, Red Eagle made a good point. We should be focused on swing counties like Gloucester. Okay, no, Gloucester County. Sure, yeah, you should campaign there and all. You should try to run up the numbers everywhere. But you want to campaign in the places where people are mostly dissatisfied with the Democratic government. And that's where you should be trying to campaign and get those numbers in. And first off, people in Morris County are less likely to go because then again, they got their gal, Mikie Sherill. But then again, you just want to make the devastation, the tragedy in New Jersey government right now. You got to make it clear. We've undergone 8 years of this. It's time for change, and we need change now. And the best person to change is Sherill. You aren't probably. It's going to get much worse until you get another chance in 2029 to finally flip New Jersey. And it might be too late. So you got to go up to those people that are very dissatisfied with government in Morris County. Just say, hey, look, your gal, Mikie Sherill, she's not going to help you guys. Just because she comes from Morris doesn't mean she actually cares about you. You guys have to go out and it's time to course correct. It's time now for Republican leadership. You got to make that case here. Morris County, it's a priority. And I was afraid of Sherill winning because of that, because she comes from that area, and she's going to act like the favorite daughter, and everyone's going to go out there because of name recognition. Oh, she's my congresswoman. I'm going to vote for my congresswoman. This is the battle, the obstacle that Sherill needs to recognize, needs to counter. Okay, say, hey, look, no, don't vote for your congresswoman. You need change, okay? You need change, not name recognition, not that favorite daughter vibe you get from her. No, you need change, and the change is now. So obviously, Mikie Sherill does everywhere because she does good everywhere. But she specifically does very well in northern New Jersey because mainly she comes from Morris. You'll see following her would be Somerset, Hunterdon, and Sussex counties. Even Monmouth County would follow that trend also. Rasparaka. Now, the populists aren't really happy. This race was very much well divided. I was really hoping that the establishment would divide so much that Baraka would get an edge. Because you got multiple establishment candidates. You got Mikie Sherill. You got Josh Gothamir. You got Sean Spiller. And you got Steve Sweeney. And you got two populist candidates, Ross Baraka and Steve Fulop. And Baraka, they were like, Fulop's fine, but people like Baraka. Baraka, it's true, he's a gifted speaker. He's a race hustler, by the way. He goes, they're all attacking me because I'm a black man. I'm like, no, they're attacking you because they want the governorship, sir. They want to be the nominee, and they see you as a threat, not because you're a black man, but you know why he's doing this. He's trying to increase the race hustler turnout. He's trying to increase black turnout. But Baraka doesn't really have a good record on him because he is responsible for sanctuary state policy in Newark, and obviously in Essex County, he won his own county, but not as much as you would expect someone coming from a county that you reside in to perform. You'll see he won the county by 40%, 8-point advantage over Mikie Sherill. That's not good. And I would say that's mostly because a lot of Democrats don't like the sanctuary state policy either. That's ground that Sherill has. Okay? Sherill needs to take advantage of that in Essex County. Yeah, this guy here, Ross Baraka, he got arrested for attempting to storm the deportation center, an ICE facility. How well did that work out for him? Not so well. Yeah, he came in second place. Good job, Ross Baraka. But 20.40%, that's not good. By popular vote. He carried 2 counties, okay? Essex County, 40%. Sherill, 34%. Sherill has somewhat of an edge. She got what she needed to comfortably win by like 14 points in the state average and the state vote. You also have Baraka carrying Union County, also mainly because of name recognition. Favorite son, of course. He comes somewhat near Essex, and that's more of the suburban vote. I would have described more of the African-American vote in Union County, really dragging and bringing Ross Baraka victory in that said county. But you'll clearly see that not by much, really. I would say not even by 10 points. So yeah, Ross Baraka, I hope he won because obviously he's a clown, to be honest. He's a race hustler. He doubles down on what resulted to Democrats losing by so much, and not to mention what resulted to Kamala Harris losing New Jersey by so much. Actually winning New Jersey, but losing so much vote in New Jersey last year. So I really hoped he would win. But then again, Sherill was beating everyone in the polls. She didn't get 50%, 30%. Her best performance was 28%. She overperformed the polls. And we can't necessarily say, oh, Sherill had a bad primary, because honestly, she overperformed. But yes, Red Eagle is correct. There's just too much split ticketing. The populace, the far left, they're angry. They don't like Sherill, by the way. It doesn't matter if she has an infinity stone of wokeness, being a woman and all that stuff, being the only woman in this race. They don't like that she's trying to avoid the trans issue because she knows that hurts Democrats. They are the losers of the issue. And obviously they wanted Ross Baraka because, Ross Baraka's campaigning on far left issues. And, he got arrested by, I would say ICE, but he got arrested by the FBI. He got arrested because he was being a stupid idiot by trying to make himself out to be a victim. But people realized that, he's doing this as a campaign stunt. He didn't need to storm the ICE facility. People with common sense realized that. And I think his race hustling, like saying, we all know why they're attacking me on the stage, because I'm a black man. No, they're attacking you because you're second place in the polls. They want to take your votes, especially Steve Fulop, who came in third place, but he wants your votes. So obviously, I think Ross Baraka is a clown, and he kind of also turned off some of his Democratic voters. But then there's Steve Fulop, who came in third place, didn't win any county, by the way. Take the L, Steve. Josh Gothamir, he comes from Bergen County. No surprise. I kind of indicated that he would win Bergen because he comes from that area. He is, of course, congressman. He represents that county. But yes, he defeated Mikie Sherill there, so he has lots of recognition up there. And not much recognition in Pasiac. I thought that was kind of surprising because Bergen and Pasiac, they're smack right next to together. I would think Gothamir would be just as hard as Sherill, to be honest, because Gothamir comes from Bergen. Yeah, it's a county that Trump almost won, and I think we could pick it up this time. I really hope we could. I think we can, maybe. We're going to have to see. But yes, it's a good county to campaign in for Sherill. Smack by New York, smack by Newark. Lots of crime, lots of illegal aliens, lots of opportunities, and I think we're going to enjoy some cocktails there from Jack. But last thing, Democrats there are not happy that Gothamir, their guy, didn't win. So I think we can take advantage of that. But 11.8 for Gothamir. But yeah, he's going back to the house. He's staying in the house. Sean Spiller, he's surprising actually, 10%, because Spiller actually sank in the polls. Like, he got kicked out of the debate. Like, the last couple debates, the 2 debates, I watched every debate. They're hilarious. Sean Spiller, he was the least experienced out of all of them. He was like a CEO or some sort of businessman, compared to all these politicians there. So it makes sense why he didn't get to campaign. That's like Vivek, he fell into the polls and fell down in the polls, and not enough qualifications to, of course, to be in the couple debates. But Sean Spiller, despite being absent in the last debates, he's picked up a county, and I don't know. It's probably not called yet. It's too close. It's too close. He's leading by 1.6%, but we're 95% in. This is Cumberland County, and who knows? He's probably coming from Cumberland County, because I find this very interesting, especially from Steve Sweeney, because Steve Sweeney's from the South. You would expect Steve Sweeney to relatively do very well, and he kind of did, because you'll see, we'll get into Sweeney in a little bit, but he did kind of somewhat good in margin-wise. But Sean Spiller's holding on to that said Cumberland County, despite being the underdog compared to all these other politicians, deep state politicians. We got more votes coming in, but and Sean Spiller did relatively very good. According to this, in this county, he could be coming from, in my view, he's probably coming from Cumberland. How much votes are left in this county? 400. So you could add 400 to the 8,235 votes already counted. Would that make a difference? I think it would be added somewhat to like Sherill, somewhat to Sweeney. So I think it's pretty much called for Spiller. And especially that he's almost getting to 2 points. But he must be coming from Cumberland. It's the only way. I mean, he has to be coming from Cumberland County. But only way to explain why someone is literally toppling all these deep state politicians in the said primary. But then, of course, you got the Tim Walz of New Jersey, and that is Steve Sweeney. And Sweeney has underperformed. He has disgraced himself because everyone knows he's a low testosterone old man who cannot control his emotions. He is unhinged on the debate stage. Donald Trump's a bully. He's trying to get this boomer mentality, these liberal boomers that are mad at Elon Musk, mad at Doge, they're mad at Social Security services. They want their Social Security. They want their checks. Steve Sweeney's trying to get the grandmas and the grandpas to come out. And obviously, he comes from Southern New Jersey, so he knows that he's going to have good name recognition in that area. But let's give it to Steve, though. He came in last because he's a Tim Walz. He's an old Tim Walz from New Jersey. Despite that, though, he carried 2 counties, and he carried them relatively very fairly. You'll see he carried Salem County by 40%. That's over a solid margin, 93% in against Mikie Sherill. Mikie Sherill and all these other candidates, they're not winning the said Salem County. It's been called for him. You also have Gloucester County, which you could say is you would say Salem is Steve Sweeney's county performance, because this obviously was his best performing county. Thulip's best county, no surprise, is Hudson. That's where New Jersey City is. But when it comes to the said race, when it comes to Salem, no, I would say, yeah, Sweeney's coming from that county, comes from southern New Jersey. Gloucester, yeah, that swing county there, 41%. That's the other thing. We can't just rely on Steve Sweeney's low testosterone levels to give Jack Shirelli the victory. I mean, he appeals relatively very well to Gloucester County residents. Comes from southern New Jersey. He could possibly put Atlanta County into play, into Cumberland County into play, not to mention does very well up there. You have Cumberland. Steve Sweeney, he just needs to gain 1.6% more and he wins, and I don't think he will. Sean Spiller's performing very well there. He has to be from Cumberland, and I would relatively just call it for Spiller, because Spiller has held the county all the way through this race so far. You also have Atlantic County. I would go as far as saying it's Mikie Sherill's county right now. She's carrying it. Sweeney. Yep, she is. Sweeney's tied with Spiller. That's not a good person to be tied with. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be remaining in the Sherill column, and will stay in the Sherill column. It's not going to anyone else, even though Sean Spiller, I'm telling you guys right now, he has to come from Cumberland. I'm not even going to bother looking it up. A, it's a waste of time, and B, it's very likely. Going to Camden, that's probably the closest out of them all, okay? You have Mikie Sherill just performing 0.6% better. Okay, well, actually 0.4% better. Steve Sweeney is behind by 0.4%, and who knows, he could possibly pick it up. How much vote is remaining? It's 93% in, votes left. We have 4,000 votes left. It's very possible that Camden could fall into the Sweeney category, and then Sweeney's carrying 3 counties home with him. I would say, hey, look, if you're Steve Sweeney right now, you shouldn't be mad you came in last place. You at least you're not Steve Thulip, who lost and didn't get to carry anything home with him, except for 124,000 votes. He might prefer that, but of course, I would be, if I were running in this, I would rather carry something home with me. Just say, hey, look, I get to say I'm a winner in some sort of community, rather than some sort of town. I'm not even sure if Thulip is the winner in his own city, which would be embarrassing. But yeah, this is, of course, the lead in all of them. But yes, that is the Democratic primary. It should be interesting. Populist left, the far left, whatever you like to call them, they're not happy with this result. They don't like Mikie Sherill. They say she's a right-winger. She's not. She's TDS. She's unhinged. They say she's a right-winger because she's not downplaying how bad Democrats have treated the trans issue, the mass the deportations, being against mass deportations, and I don't think she will try to campaign as a moderate for sure against Jack Shirelli. And Jack Shirelli needs to really try his best to expose Mikie Sherill, which will bring us to the Republican primaries, because we got to talk about the Republican primaries. What we figured would be the case has been the case now. Jack Shirelli is the winner, taking out Bill Spadea and John Brabnick. Obviously, we got to talk about the said results. Jack Shirelli, who was the former nominee in 2021, is returned. And I'm glad to have someone like him, because I'm sorry, We cannot have someone like Bill Spadea run against Mikie Sherill. He will lose. Period. I know a lot of people are mad that Bill Spadea didn't win. And I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with Bill Spadea on everything compared to Jack Shirelli. But I would go with Jack Shirelli, knowing that, hey, look, we're going to accomplish much more with him than Bill Spadea. I agree on side with Bill Spadea on the issues, but it's about, can you actually win? And I don't think Bill Spadea can. He's on an unapologetic MAGA platform. I appreciate that, but that's not the winning strategy in New Jersey. Donald Trump knows this. That's why he backed Shirelli. Okay? And Bill Spadea, I think he's kind of heard about it. But if you're Bill Spadea right now, you need to sit down and actually think. This guy's saying, Jack Shirelli, he lost twice. Jack Shirelli didn't lose twice. He lost once. And if you ask me, he didn't just lose. He overperformed. And because he overperformed, he delivered Republicans 9 seats in the state legislature, a flip of 9 seats. He delivered coke deals. Bill Spadea and John Bradnick, they don't want to admit this, but it's true. And understandably, because obviously, they are, of course, running against him. John Bradnick was trying to run as this, I would say progressive, but a rhino. He's trying to appeal to the independent Republicans, the Republicans that left the GOP because it was just too right-wing, even though it's been the way it has been in multiple years. It's just anti-establishment. But John Bradnick tried to run as the rhino candidate, a Chris Christie-like candidate. Criticized Trump. That didn't help him, obviously. Do you think it helped him? No. He got 6.2%, 28,000 votes. He didn't carry anything. They threw him away like a used tampon. I just said tampon because I couldn't find anything else. But yes, John Bradnick. But I will go as far as say that maybe Bradnick would be a better candidate in the Senate race. No, Bill Spadea, no. Is not going to win the Senate race in 2026. Forget it. No. Because, then again, wrong candidate, wrong climate. I'm going to use my skiing analogy again. It doesn't work. If it's a wavy sea, if it's too much waves in the ocean or whatever lake, too much waves, too much wind, bad weather. Should you go skiing on it? No. Maybe do fishing. Okay? Do something else. This is the same case here. Bad weather, bad climate for someone like a Bill Spadea. The weather is not in his favor. And so the alternative is Shirelli. And obviously Trump recognized that and he endorsed him. I'm sure Trump would love to endorse Bill Spadea in a Pennsylvania race, and not to mention, I would back him too. I think Bill Spadea is an amazing candidate, speaks very well, has great beliefs. He needs to run into Pennsylvania, though. He needs to run in like a Michigan or a Midwest sort of vibe, not in a state that we're trying to get back red. We're trying to, but we need to do it slowly. We can't throw a MAGA candidate in yet. That's not the smart thing to do. You gotta slowly get it into a battleground state, something like a Pennsylvania. And you're not going to do it when you run something when half the state is critical about. So I am 100% satisfied with the results of this said primary. I would have voted for Shirelli, even though I'm some beef with him on some issues. But hey, you know what? I think Shirelli is well spoken. He resonates with a lot of voters. And then again, I think overall he resonates with the Italian vote, and that played into his 2021 overperformance. So the fact that said, Shirelli, he lost twice. They're saying he lost twice because he lost the 2017 primary. That doesn't count. You can't say he lost twice because he wasn't nominated by the GOP. He didn't run in a gubernatorial race. Or, if Bill Spadea runs in the Senate election, are we going to go ahead and say that Bill Spadea lost once and we can't trust him again? No, because he ran in a primary. This is just a stupid argument. But hey, if Bill Spadea wants to play that game and his Republican opponent goes and says that, let him do it. But yeah, who knows? Jack Shirelli could choose Spadea as his running mate. I'm open with that, 100%. And I think a lot of MAGA people are mad. I would say more of the extreme faction. I wouldn't say extreme, but I don't want to make it sound like extreme is bad. But the hardcore faction of the MAGA part of the Republican Party is mad that Shirelli got in, and I'm saying, look, I understand you're mad that your state is not going to become your state's not going to become a West Virginia. Your state is not going to become a Florida. Period. It's not ready for that yet. Your state's not going to become an Ohio. Your state could become like a Pennsylvania. That can happen. But you need to play slow. You need to be cautious, slow, and strategic. And Jack Shirelli, you guys ought to be happy. A lot of people, a lot of states don't have people like him. Minnesota, Michigan, they run weak, incompetent candidates. But New Jersey has him. New Jersey has Shirelli. Guys ought to be thankful. I'm telling you, as a Minnesotan with a horrible, weak GOP, we would rather love to have a Shirelli than the candidates we have here. That's my take. But let's talk about the counties Shirelli carried. Well, the best county. Best county for him is Pasiek. I don't know if he comes from there, but 82%. I think that's relatively good because, remember, Pasiek is a county that Trump carried. Shirelli didn't carry Pasiek County. And who knows, he could possibly carry Pasiek. He will have to go against the Sherill coattails there because of name recognition. Who knows, or Shirelli could possibly come from Pasiek. But if he comes from Pasiek, then amazing. Although he didn't carry the county in 2021, but he almost did. But I think he could now, which would result to a much closer race. I'm looking forward to that general election. I'm not dooming. I'm expecting a Sherill win. I mean, we update the race and the average every 3 weeks, and Cheryl's still holding her lead. But to be fair, we haven't had a poll yet in this race. So once we get a poll, we will determine if there's going to be any flips. Let's go ahead and cover the. You said Mercer County. We're in Trenton. Obviously, Shirelli won that county. Bill Spadea. He might come from Trenton. Very well could come from Trenton. But he's doing relatively well over in central New Jersey. Surprise? He could possibly come. I think he comes from Trenton. But yeah, it's an explanation. It's probably why Spadea did relatively very well over here. You would expect Spadea to do well in the big red areas, which does explain why maybe there's some. It really does depend on proportion, but maybe the backlash or the anger that Spadea didn't get in isn't as big, and that's why I think Shirelli needs to choose Spadea as his running mate, because I think he's angered too much MAGA people, Republicans, too much MAGA faction, and he obviously needs the MAGA faction in order to win. Trump vote's not going to be the only thing. Obviously, they're mad. They jumped ship. They wouldn't even vote for the Trump endorsed candidate because they think Spadea is better on the issues, and I understand that. But yeah, then again, you have to be strategic. So I would say, Shirelli, choose Spadea as your running mate. I mean, he's not experienced. He's a radio host. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing, a radio host. But then again, or I'll be okay with whatever Sherill chooses. I think more New Jerseyans are going to vote for change, in somewhat, and I hope we are going to get that change, but we'll see. Anyway, oh yeah, we got to cover John Bramnick. Where's Bramnick coming from? Bramnick does mainly well in Union. He has to maybe come from Union County because he does a 10-point overperformance compared to all the other counties. He's winning. This is the only county he's winning double digits in. 58% for Jack. Bill Spadia came in second though. John Bramnick in 19. Yeah, John, sorry. He didn't do very well in the said race. He said, oh, Democrats, they love me. That's not something you want to say in a GOP primary. I'm just saying, in a GOP debate. They love me, then we're not going to vote for you because you're a simp for them. And he goes and talks about January 6th in the debate. I'm like, do you want to lose the nomination? I mean, like, yeah, I think this is a big eye-opener for Bramnick. Like, okay, you cannot play moderate game in the Republican primary, period. I think Bramnick is secretly scared of his Democratic opponents, and he's trying to appease them. But anyway, this was a long video because obviously this is a consequential primary. And this is the likely race that Republicans could pick up. And this is a primary, one of the few primaries where if you get the right guy in there and the right opponent in there, you could blow it out. And that's why I'm like, okay, maybe Red Eagle Politics should have talked about this more, because no doubt about it, Ross Baraka would lose if unelectable, by the way. So many attacks against him, so many mistakes he's made in his career. Easy guy to attack. He almost got in. Well, no, he didn't almost get in. He's getting trounced by 14 points. But he's incompetent, and that's I kind of wish Democrats would double down on their incompetency, but of course I think it was the suburban woman that delivered Sherill the victory. But anyway, what do you guys think about this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.